Hi everyone, and today what I've got in front of me is part of a cushion I'm making. People have said, why do you even need to block? I've never done it before and everything was fine. Well, you don't always need to block. It depends on what you're trying to achieve. Now with this pattern, I've got, as you can see, lots of different stitch types being used throughout the cushion. It's one half of the cushion here and another half over here in different arrangements of colours. But the stitch patterns, even though I've designed the cushion so that I alternate the number of stitches in each section, it still comes out a bit wonky. That's bound to happen. And what blocking does, blocking enables you to even out your knitting. Because what it does is it releases the tension on the stitches. You can use either water or steam, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But it helps to release the tension on stitches, which means that if your tension was a little bit off in one section, blocking will help even it out. It's great for that. I absolutely love it. And in my opinion, it gives a nice professional finish to something. You can see how this is all a bit higgledy-piggledy. Now you might like it like that, it's not a problem. And this is a bit wavy here, but I like to block it to get it to shape to make sure that it's going to look nice. Two main ways of blocking. One is to soak in warmish water, not too hot, for at least, I would say maybe 20 minutes. Take it out, wrap it in a towel, then lay it flat on a dry towel and pin to shape. The other way is using steam, and I use steam all the time, but I never actually touch my knitting with it. I just give blasts of steam from the iron. So those are the two ways. Pinning it out, I used to always do it on the ironing board, but this is a bit bigger, so I've recently invested in some of these blocks. These ones are from KnitPro, lace blocking mats, so that you can block, you can pin through these and lay them out. Quite nice. There's kids blocks that you can use for that. I know a lot of people use that. So you might be able to see that underneath here, there are my blocks. You can see a part of it there. And I've just put a towel over the top. So there's plenty of things for me to pin into there. And the other thing I like using are these things here. These again are KnitPro ones, knit blockers. This is what they look like. There you go. So plastic along the top with really sharp needles, and I mean really sharp. Don't ask me how I know that. So you can pin those all around the edge. I've already put a couple of those in along this edge here. This was a 3 needle cast off, by the way. That's why it's already joined. Normally I block before joining, but that's why that bit's joined. I've pinned that out to get an idea of how wide I want everything to be. That's going to fit the inner that I'm putting in. And you get various sizes of these. There's some wider ones and some smaller ones as well there. If you don't have those, it's not a problem. Get yourself some pins. Make sure they don't have plastic ends if you're going to use an iron. Ask me how I know that as well. But these are just pins there. You can probably see on the white. You might have seen these. These are called blocking pins as well. And that's what I used for a long time. Just pin them all around the edge. But when I saw these blockers, I thought, oh, that's got to be a quicker way of doing it. So that's what I use now. So I'm hoping by blocking this out, I'm going to get rid of all this sort of unevenness here. I'm only going to do one side and then we can compare it with the other. So I've pinned those edges. And I know that I want this to be about 35 centimeters, and that's what that edge is. So the next thing I'm going to do is just pin here. So straight through the towel, through the blocks. I'm not damaging the table. I have done that before. And I'm going to do the same over this side. You can always rearrange these if it's not quite right first time. Okay, so already that's looking a bit better. I'm going to tackle this bit next because this is the bit that looks like it needs the most work. So I just pin through the edge there. And excuse me if my head appears in the picture now. I'll just pin across there as well. As I say, I might need to adjust some of these a bit in a minute. Once I've got the first ones out. Yeah, this one's a bit wonky, so let's go back and do that a bit better. I'm just going to take my tape measure and see where we're at the moment. So it should be round about, yeah, I've got a little bit more to go on this side, but that's good because I've got to stretch this out. So I'm just going to put one in here just for now and one in here. And this end bit has come out a lot fatter than the others, a lot wider. So I've got to sort of manipulate this by the blocking. So I'm going to pull that grey and white bit out a bit and let the pink and white bit go in slightly. I've pulled that one too far. I think I'm actually going to put one in the middle for now to help me. That's better, to help me shape it. Put one there. I love these pins, they're great. Make it so much easier than individual pins. Still haven't got this bit right over here as I want it, so I'm going to do that yet again. That's looking better. So that's actually not looking too bad. Let's put another little one in this corner over here. I think I'll go with that. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I will take this one out now. Now we've got a bit more tension. This yarn here is pure wool, so it should be okay with steaming. So all I do is hold it a couple of centimetres above. I tend to do the whole thing once first to start with. Get it all nice and fairly nice and wet. Just put that there and hope I don't knock it off. And then I use my fingers. I love this bit because you can really help the yarn to relax and get into its nice position that it wants to be in. See, that bit there is already working out a lot better than it was. I'm going to do it again. This bit, I've got to manipulate a bit because it's too wide. I had too many stitches at the beginning for this bit. But instead of undoing it all, I thought I'll fix that with blocking. And let's do this bit again. I'm doing a collaboration with the lovely Helen of Woolly Chic. This is her yarn from her sheep. And I've done a design for her using slip stitch patterns. As some of you know, I'm a bit obsessed with those. So I think that's looking better. I'm going to give it one more blast. To help even out all the stitches. That's great. And what you should do now, and I won't be able to because I don't have time, is you should now leave it to completely dry. So that's looking quite good. Let's move these over here and have a look at the other side. You see, I've just done one side. I would do that because it's easier. I could even do the whole thing at once, but I've decided to just do one side because really I wanted to try and show you the difference when I undo that. So now, if it was me for real, I would leave this for a few hours. Make sure it's nice and dry. So let's see what it looks like without leaving it. Well, it's looking better. I still think it should be left longer, but look at that. Oh, actually, that's not too bad at all. Look at that compared to this side. If I just fold this over a little bit. Can you see how that's straightened out and relaxed those? Now, you might like it bobbly like that, which is fine. You know, I've got an entrelac cowl that I like bobbly, so I haven't blocked that one. But sometimes for the cushion, it's got to be stretched and I want it to look really, really nice. So that's what I did with the blocking. So there you have it. 2 ways of blocking, one with steam, one with soaking and pinning out. Some people swear by the soaking and pinning out. Just don't have the water too hot. If you're going to use the steam, don't touch the item because you still want some of this texture to come through because that's what the stitch pattern is. So you just want it to be a bit tidier. Methods I've shown you so far are how to block pure wool yarn, but you need to be careful if you've got other types of yarn. So listed here are some different ways of blocking. I'll just have a quick look at them with you. Angora, wet block by spraying. So instead of soaking, you can just spray with a water bottle. Cotton and linen, wet block or warm steam block. Metallics do not block. Pure wool, as I've shown you, you can wet block or warm steam block. Mohair, again, spraying will be a better option for that. Novelty yarns, don't block those because you're going to have all sorts of problems. You can sometimes block synthetics by following the instructions on the ball band, but be very careful, do not steam block at all. Wool and all animal fibres can be wet blocked or warm steam blocked. Wool blends, be careful. I would tend to use spraying or soaking, mainly spraying, because if you try to steam block, there might be a blend in there that doesn't take well to steaming, like acrylic. Okay, hope that helps.